Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. At the very edge of desperation, a mother faced an impossible command to place her newborn infant into the merciless currents of the Nile River. This was not an act of abandonment, but a profound act of faith, whispered to her by the divine. A hidden verse in the Quran reveals the breathtaking trust of a woman named Umm Musa, whose obedience defied the most tyrannical ruler in history and secretly set in motion the liberation of an entire people. Centuries ago, the land of Egypt groaned under the iron fist of Pharaoh. His heart was hardened, his power absolute. He oppressed the children of Israel, subjecting them to cruel servitude. A terrifying prophecy had reached his ears: a child from among the Israelites would rise and overthrow his kingdom. In his tyrannical fear, he issued a horrifying decree: every newborn Israelite boy must be slaughtered. Fear gripped every Israelite household. The cry of mothers echoed through the communities, silenced by the swift, brutal hand of Pharaoh's soldiers. Generations of hope extinguished in an instant. This was the world into which a humble woman, Umm Musa, was about to bring new life. Her heart was a tempest of hope and dread, knowing the fate that awaited her unborn son. Then came the blessed birth. A son, beautiful and pure, filled her small dwelling with a fragile light. But with his first breath, the shadow of Pharaoh's decree loomed large. How could she protect him? How could she hide him from the omnipresent eyes of the regime? Every day, every hour, was a terrifying gamble. The infant's cries, even the softest coo, felt like a thunderclap announcing his presence. For a time, she managed to keep him hidden, her maternal instincts sharp, her vigilance unwavering. But the threat was constant, suffocating. She knew she could not sustain this deception forever. The walls of her home felt like a prison, yet outside lay an even greater danger. Her heart ached with the impossible choice that loomed, a choice no mother should ever have to make. It was in this moment of profound despair, when hope seemed to dwindle to nothing, that a divine whisper reached her heart. Allah SWT, in His infinite mercy and wisdom, revealed a path, one that defied all human logic and comprehension. He commanded her, as recorded in Surah Al-Qasas 28:7, cast him into the river, and fear not, nor grieve. Indeed, we will return him to you and will make him one of the messengers. Imagine the tremor in her hands, the battle in her soul. To cast her precious son into the vast, unknown river. Every fiber of her being must have screamed against it. Yet, the conviction of Allah's promise was absolute. She knew this was not a human command, but a divine decree, a test of faith unlike any other. Trust superseded fear, submission conquered grief. With trembling hands, Umm Musa, prepared a small ark, a sturdy basket woven from reeds. She lined it carefully, ensuring it was waterproof, a tiny vessel for the most precious cargo. With a heart torn between terror and unwavering trust, she placed her infant son, Musa, within its confines. This tiny basket became a symbol of her submission to Allah's will. Then, with a silent prayer, she gently released the ark into the swirling currents of the Nile. The river, which Pharaoh used to dispose of Israelite boys, was now, by divine command, carrying her son to a destiny beyond her wildest imagination. Every ripple, every current, felt like a heartbeat of hope and fear. Her eyes, filled with tears, watched it drift away. But Umm Musa, was not alone in her vigil. Allah SWT had commanded her, as stated in Surah Al-Qasas 28:11, to tell her daughter, follow him. And so, Musa's older sister, Miriam, secretly followed the ark along the riverbank. Her small figure, concealed amongst the reeds, watched over her brother's perilous journey, a silent guardian in a world of danger. The Nile carried the ark not to destruction, but to the very heart of Pharaoh's power, his palace. The waters, guided by divine will, brought the basket directly to the palace gardens. This was the place where Musa, as, was meant to be discovered, not by a commoner, but by those who lived within the opulent walls of the oppressor himself. It was Pharaoh's wife, Asiyah, as, a woman of profound faith and compassion, who found the ark. Asiyah, as, was a queen who saw beyond the cruelty of her husband and recognized the innocence of the child. Allah SWT had decreed that Musa, as, would be found by the very person who could protect him from Pharaoh's wrath, right within Pharaoh's own household. Pharaoh, upon seeing the child, immediately recognized him as an Israelite boy and ordered his death. But Asiyah, as, a beacon of mercy, intervened. She pleaded with Pharaoh, as recounted in Surah Al-Qasas, 28:9, "He will be a comfort to my eyes and your eyes. Do not kill him, perhaps he may benefit us, or we may adopt him as a son." Her words, filled with an inexplicable tenderness, softened Pharaoh's hardened heart, or perhaps, Allah SWT simply allowed it to be so. He relented, and the infant was spared. The very tyrant who sought to eradicate Israelite boys now inadvertently protected the one destined to challenge his power. This was the first of many subtle miracles woven into Musa's life. Yet, a new challenge arose. The infant Musa, refused to take milk from any of the wet nurses brought to him. One after another, noble women and servants tried, but the baby would not feed. His cries filled the palace, a testament to his unique situation, an unspoken divine signal that only one specific source of nourishment would suffice. Miriam, Musa's sister, who had been secretly observing from a distance, saw her opportunity. She approached the palace officials, seemingly a chance encounter, and offered a solution. As described in Surah Al-Qasas, 28:12, she said, "Shall I direct you to a household who will rear him for you, and who will be to him sincere counselors?" Her offer seemed innocent, a helpful suggestion. Unbeknownst to the palace staff, she was guiding them directly back to the very woman who had just cast him into the river. The divine plan was unfolding with breathtaking precision, twisting the threads of fate to achieve its ultimate purpose. Every refusal, every cry, was a step towards the impossible reunion. And so, Musa, was brought to the palace. The very child she had placed in the Nile, now lay in the arms of Pharaoh's household. When Musa, was presented to her, he immediately accepted her breast. His cries ceased, replaced by the peaceful sounds of an infant finally comforted. The miracle was complete, unnoticed by those who held power. Allah SWT had fulfilled his promise. And Musa, had her son returned to her, not as a slave, but as a cherished member of the royal household, protected by the very tyrant who sought his destruction. This was the ultimate reward for her unwavering faith, a testament to the power of divine decree over human machinations. Musa, grew up within Pharaoh's palace, nursed by his own mother, yet raised as a prince. This unique upbringing meant he was protected from Pharaoh's persecution, educated in the ways of the court, and unknowingly prepared for the monumental task that awaited him. He was a secret agent of Allah SWT, hidden in plain sight, a future prophet nurtured by his very oppressor. This incredible story, found in the Quran, is a profound lesson in trust and the omnipotence of Allah SWT. It teaches us that even in the darkest moments, when the commands of Allah SWT seem to defy all reason, His plan is perfect, His wisdom absolute. Musa, became an enduring symbol of a mother's faith, rewarded beyond measure. The story of Musa, reminds us that what appears to be a loss can, in the divine scheme, be the very means of salvation and triumph. She surrendered her most precious possession, and in doing so, became an instrument of Allah's will, paving the way for the liberation of her people and the rise of one of the greatest prophets in history. Her story echoes through time, a testament to the power of tawakkul, complete reliance on Allah SWT. It reminds us that our understanding is limited, but His plan encompasses all. When we place our trust entirely in Him, Even in the face of the most daunting trials, His promises are always true, His support unwavering. Her journey was one of pure, unadulterated faith. If this cinematic journey through the Quranic narrative of Musa has moved your heart, please consider liking this video. Your support helps us reach more brothers and sisters with these inspiring stories of faith and resilience. Subscribe to Sacred Ayat for more visually stunning and reverent cinematic interpretations of Quranic tales. Share this powerful account with someone who needs a reminder of Allah's perfect plan and a mother's unwavering trust. Consider it a sadaqah yoriyah, an ongoing charity. And in the comments below, let us know which other sacred story from the Quran you would like us to explore next. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.